Hello everybody. So I'm just gonna sit here and see if we can get some people to come into the room as I pull out a stick of Palo Santo. I just found out that my Palo Santo nubs are almost gone. So I'm here to talk about the gateway. Hi Karen. The 222 gateway is officially open. It opened, well, I wouldn't say last night, this morning at about 3 a.m. my time. A gigantic heart gate opened up and there was a flood of energy that came through. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the energy. First off, I want to just say welcome to everyone who's here. Anyone that's new, welcome to the live stream. I've not gone live in a little while. So I tried to make this video earlier and my phone died, so something told me to get live and to talk about what's going on with this 222 portal and what to expect. And I want to remind everyone that there's a lot of, when it comes down to forecast reports of energy, this is really, it comes down to the way that we interpret energies, okay? And it really depends on how the energies are speaking to us individually. So for me, the gateway that opened up this morning, early this morning, provided a lot of insight throughout the day of what's going on and what to expect through this 222 gateway that's happening on Sunday. Now, mindful, this is my interpretation. There might be someone else's interpretation that comes through. Once again, it's all relative and it's all based on how we interpret the energies that are coming through to us, as the energies are all going to arrive in different ways and we're going to interpret it in different ways. So the discussion here that's been coming forth is very much so Lemurian energies. This is a carry on from so there was a Lemurian portal that we opened up on 11/11 when I did my 11/11 activation. No problem. So I'm just saying hi to everyone out there. Thank you so much for joining in. Get comfortable, chat in the chat. I might not be interacting as much with people during the chat because I can start to, I want to be able to assimilate all this information because a lot's coming through and I want to be able to put it out there. So this gateway is a reminder of what the 11/11 brought us, what 12/12 and 12/21 brought us. So those last three big transition points really was inviting more in of the purification of the divine feminine frequency, which really helps to release a lot of the distorted masculine templates that have been going on. So 12/12 to me was a very big shift in the arrival of the divine masculine templates thanks to this Lemurian energy. The Lemurian energy I always associate with the divine feminine. It's very much so an aquatic energy. It's very much so in the emotions. If you've dealt with Lemurian energy before, which if you're here right now, you've dealt with Lemurian energy. It's come through these most recent gateways and gateways in the past as well. This Lemurian energy, one drop of this purified divine feminine energy can either be the most blissful experience of your life or it can release a big chunk of distortion that's sitting within you that needs to go. So it really depends upon where you're at in your journey, how you handle these frequencies that arrive. So last night, when I went to sleep, I felt my entire chest space open wide up. And right before I went to bed, I was taken into another universe, a parallel universe, which is another discussion right now, what's happening through the expansion series. Daniel Scranton just came out last night and this morning with a channeling from the Arcturian Collective or Arcturian Council of Light discussing parallel universes. And this just kind of so happened to be happening over the past few days, recognition of our parallel aspects and kind of the bilocation of the multidimensionality. So this heart gate opened up and these frequencies came through. And I want to talk about, as I've been deciphering it throughout the day, what it entails. So, of course, like I said, the purified divine feminine energy comes in and it will either be an extremely blissful experience depending on where you're at in your journey, or it could be a time to release more. So I did some energy with some energy work on a friend. Big shout out to Betsy over at Fearless Intuition. her higher self told me about some stuff that's going on with her, and it's also ringing true with the collective right now, what these energies are introducing. And this is why it's occurring. So the community and unity focused energies require us to be able to unify softly. What happens is, over the course of our Earth experience, we accumulate traumatic events, and we can accumulate these things in our field that keep shells and barriers. And I look at essentially our field becoming kind of a porcupine. While we might be inviting in the community and unity focus, if our energies are spiky, we tend to attract that sharp angle energetically into our day-to-day encounters, or we can end up it can result in keeping people out, and we don't mean to be keeping people out. So what this energy does is it provides opportunity to shave down those sharp points in our field, so we kind of smoothen out. We're essentially becoming like a tumbled crystal, and what that requires is the energy to produce this, what I would call a distorted reflux, to kind of allow these distortions to leave, but also to invite in opportunities to shave down the corners of our field. And it's not just our field. This works in the emotional body, this works in the mental body. What happens is, every time we hit these moments of triggers, it kind of softens us up. I've discussed before, we break down to break open. It causes a great energetic release, and every person that's coming in right now, if you're being heavily triggered, and it's causing you to kind of retract more as you're trying to unify, is because we're shaving down those sharp points of your energetic field to kind of smoothen out and soften up, so then we can be able to interact in a more calm, heart-based approach and a heart-based basis. Now, once again, this is varied from person to person. You might have already worked through a lot of these wounds, so this won't be happening for you. This is only a portion of the collective that I see as to why these triggers can occur. So this community and unity focused also is very much so in the supporter role of the community. This isn't anymore depending on your role in the collective, okay? And depending on your role in the lightworker community. This is now an opportunity to be community focused and to be that empathetic, compassionate individual to another person. Now, I did have a discussion about, in my January 2020 video that I posted yesterday, about the kind of the new age stuff. I'm gonna do a part 2 video about more of how I feel about this, because I do believe that the supporter role and the service and things is extremely important and vital towards this process, but I'm not gonna go into that right now. But what I'm talking about is that this is very much so, these energies are helping us to strip away any distortion that's keeping us from the unification process. If you want assistance, okay, in kind of helping to boost this community and unity mind, I just put up an activation yesterday that was a quantum light activation that is all about this. It's unlocking unification codes within. This is not light language, so this is actually just me, that I channeled some words that are light encoded that are activations to your cellular structure towards activating these latent parts of your DNA and also helping you to clear more and more. So if you want to, you can go ahead and listen to that activation that I have posted. It's a quantum light activation, so it's not light language. It's just encoded. And it's a really fun, neat way that I've been working with these activations. So you can listen to that, and it will really help to unlock more of those unification aspects within, release some of this separation, and help you to really move forward through these energies with more ease, with more grace, and with more flow. So what this can cause is, so this morning for me, I woke up heavy static energy. So basically what I mean by static energy was my field felt very, it wasn't sticky, like it wasn't black goo, like someone distorted dumped on me, but it was a very much so, it was a positive ion feeling, and I knew that there was an activation that happened in my sleep through this portal opening that caused this kind of, everything was just kind of getting to me. What can help with this, if through this energy wave you start to experience this kind of staticky feeling? What I call it is, it's essentially like if you've ever experienced Santa Ana winds or high electricity in the air, that's how it felt in my field. It was just very sticky and staticky, and everything was kind of bothering me. What helps is really focusing on the aquatic energy. So this aquatic energy that I'm talking about is very much so focused on the oceanic realms. Once again, the Lemurian energy. We can really co-create right now with our animal kingdom in assisting with this energetic gateway and this energetic process. What does this entail? Calling forth the dolphin frequency, calling forth the whale frequency. If you've never worked with these various animals before, it does help. This is something that is going to be focused on my activation on 2/2 actually. So this activation that I'm holding on Sunday, we are going to be working with these aquatic energies. So if you want to sign up for that, feel free to do so. The way you do that is I have a video posted yesterday inviting people to the 2/2 activation. Just go ahead and send me a donation. I already have one person that signed up. So thank you to Lori for signing up. I think she's still in here. We're going to be working with these aquatic energies. And what you can do is send me a donation on PayPal with a note saying 2/2 activation and your most recent updated email address, and I'll send you an invite to this 2/2 activation. No minimum donation. Donate whatever you can, whatever you want to. There's also going to be a recording available for this, so you will receive recording. If you cannot make it to the activation, you can also listen back to it. But not just that, it'll be available on my website for purchase if you can't make it for whatever reason. So this aquatic dolphin whale energy will really help towards releasing the static in your field. Also, once again, salt baths. Salt water, the negative ions in salt water. So if you can go jump into the ocean, do that. Me, I can't do that. I'm in the middle of Texas. So I go for the next best result. I do table salt mixed with Epsom salt in my bath. And that really helps towards releasing some of this sticky energy that can sit in our field as we are releasing more and more of this distortion. This gateway is really causing, so since it's a divine feminine energy, it's teaching us to slow down. So the way that I look at it, let's go into the slowing down process. The divine feminine is very much so the receptive. It is the magnetic aspect, and it is the being state. Depending on where you're at in your journey, trying to actively get through this gateway you might be met with resistance. The best way to move through gateways like this is to be. In that being state, time actually tends to go by faster. And so with time is very much so speeding up right now. But the way that I look at it is the divine feminine frequencies that come through really speed up time, while the divine masculine energies slow down time. And this all tunes into our Merkaba. Our Merkaba is made up of 2 tetrahedrons, the top tetrahedron being the divine masculine, the bottom being the divine feminine. The divine feminine tetrahedron spins faster than the masculine. Okay, so this divine feminine energy is very much so the best way to get through these corridors is if you are trying to actively get your way through this gateway, you might be met with resistance, which could be physical body disruptions, energetic disruptions. You might have hit more traffic jams. If that's happening, the call is to listen to what's going on with you energetically within your body, within your structure as you are working through this, because you might just have to be. And it can be very difficult. In the being phase of awakening, which sometimes it's the meat sack where you're just like, you're a hot mess and you're crying and filled with snot. You've got no option but to just sit there and be a lump. Know that you're actually doing more for yourself than if you are actively going. Because through these transition points, the frequency upgrades that are needed for our body to land in new earth, but also to receive everything we desire, we are actually doing more in that being state than we are in the action state. So if you start to experience this today or over the course of the weekend, and you're trying to get something done and you're being met with a lot of resistance, whether it be energetically or just things aren't panning out, allow it to happen. Pushing through actually creates more resistance and more discord, and you might be met up with more of an interesting interaction to tell you to slow down. So basically, this was the symbolism that came through right before I hopped on here, was my guides were showing me. It's kind of like you're on a street and you're traveling, and there keeps being signs that saying slow down, crossing ahead, or slow down, stop ahead. And if you don't pay attention to those signs, eventually the universe has to step it up a notch for you to finally get it, and that might require, getting cut off by someone or, getting pulled over. This is the symbolism that I'm seeing, is that if you're getting the call to slow down and you're feeling it energetically, you're feeling it physically, you try to get something done, it's just not working out. The time is to just focus on the being state. That's what this divine feminine energy does for me, is it really teaches me what to do in that being state and allowing my frequency to change naturally, because when that door of opportunity opens up for me to step into that guided action, or that inspired action, I now can actually get more done. So yeah, that's all I've got pretty much for this energy. Definitely, it's gonna be different for everyone. Everyone's at a different phase of their awakening. So if things come to the surface, make sure to what I've been shown and been kind of teaching more is, if you start to get emotionally like you're having to cry more, get messy with your release. And when I say that is like, you know, if you're having these like little spurts of crying and you really need to let it out, find a way to get into a safe environment and let it go. Like, get messy with it. Get snot face, get ugly cry going, start wailing and crying like a little kid. It really helps during these transition moments in the release. It helps to speed it up. So sometimes we have to go through, based on the way the energy is set up in our life is set up, we have to kind of go through micro purges as we are going through the release process of whatever we need to let go of. But if you have a moment to like just push everything out in like kind of one big birth essentially of release, let it out. Get messy with your emotions. If you have to get ugly cry face on, get ugly cry face on. Feel it, feel into it. Let the tears soak into your face. Let the salt water of your tears naturally cleanse you. And let that kind of sit there for a little bit, and then wipe it off, get up and get going. You're gonna feel so much better. Yeah, hissy fit. Hi, Genevieve, by the way, hello. If you gotta throw a hissy fit, throw a silent hissy fit. During this time too, as more stuff is being released, we might find more projections, okay? So in the, what I would call the unconscious collective, we might find more people projecting. This is a time to just kind of like, okay, if we need to step away for a little bit, and step out of certain environments, we need to. If you're able to handle it with ease and grace, go ahead and do so. As people are shifting out a lot of this stuff, they might be projecting, but what they really need is they need some soft comfort and some warmth and some love. And so if you are able to hold that space energetically for someone, do so. It really does help in the process of the collective up-leveling. But once again, it's listening to your body, listening to yourself, and figuring out what is gonna serve you and everyone else around you and the collective in the highest good and in the highest regard and in the highest form. So another thing to focus on right now is our core, okay? So basically, right now there's a lot of liver and kidney pains that are going on here with Samantha and I know it's a big part of this release process. So when we look at energy buildup, okay, if we have too much energy stuck in our field, it can start to work our way through the subtle bodies and actually get to the point of reaching the physical body and creating a dis-ease. Also though too, through the purification moments, okay, when we start to go through the purification of these water drops of like this Lemurian divine feminine energy, this energy causes, purification is not friendly and it's not fun, okay? We think of like purification as pure and blissful, and that's the end result, but during the process of purification, it can get rough. And this means including the physical body release. So when we look at traumas, pains, and programs that have been held within our body, whether it be past life or from this lifetime, not only is it held energetically, but it's held cellular, it's also held in the muscles, the bones, the organs, it's in our entire makeup. It's in the mental body, it's in the emotional body. So through this release process right now, we are noticing that the purification is actually hitting our filter points of our body, which is our digestive system. So let's look into the liver, the kidneys, the gallbladder, the large intestine, the small intestine, and the colon. Right now is a time to really focus on, at least for me, is focusing on detoxification of these areas. So for us, we do dandelion teas, really help with the liver, lots of cranberry juice for the kidneys. As pure and organic of cranberry juice as you can. I bought some cranberry juice the other day, and then I read the label and saw all the sugar content in it, and was like, okay, no, this is. So I have to go out actually today and get some better cranberry juice for me, so I don't continue to mess up my my system. But right now, what's happening is you might be feeling it in your core, your digestive tract might be all messed up. You might be going to the bathroom more regularly, more irregularly. We basically have to kind of work with the energies right now, and it can kind of blindside you. You could be, feeling great, and then all of a sudden you're down for a few days. So what happened with Samantha and I is we had some really big kidney pains coming on, and granted, a lot of it was hers, and then I ended up picking up on it because we have a collective field. I'm not going to get into it, but living with someone in a relationship, both highly energetically charged, you can also end up creating your own little like quantum collective consciousness where we end up picking up each other's energies, and the entanglement, it just gets messy. And this is a big learning process with how to operate energetic relationships in 5D. So if you're going through this right now, focus on the detoxification, drinking lots of water, hydration. For us too, we've been doing colon cleanses, but I recommend that if you do a colon cleanse, make sure it has a probiotic in it, or introduce a probiotic into your system. And I didn't read about this. This is stuff that I've been intuitively getting from my guidance, and so it could be right, it could be wrong. I'm taking it as right because it makes sense. Is as we're cleansing too, we want to make sure we have enough healthy biomes within our gut, especially so we're upholding those neural pathways that are being built from our gut into our brain as we're reprogramming. But also too is that if you are taking a colon cleanse, there's also it will start to pull moisture out of your body. So making sure you're staying completely hydrated, because you might start to find strain on the kidneys and the other organs that are associated with like your urinary tract. So if you're doing a colon cleanse, be mindful of that. Hydrate right now. Hydrate. The cleansing has been helping us, and we've really been having to take it easy as our body is purging a lot of this. And a lot of this too now is like being mindful with our practices with clearing. So if we're doing a clearing, we immediately do a frankincense bath, and it's something that I've been introducing more and more, where we light up a piece of charcoal and we start throwing a grip of frankincense on, and we throw a blanket over us, and we basically make a mini sweat lodge with frankincense when we're clearing. Because what happens is the more and more you release too, this stuff can start to get stuck in the energetic structures of your home, depending on where you're clearing. And we're now finding that with such a fast and massive release through these transition periods, we need to cleanse our home more and more. So we're now I'm having to sweep more, which is, inducing astral sweeping, having to clean more with lemon. Yes, frankincense bath. Oh, hi, Sam. Hi, babe. She's on a live. That's awesome. Hi, sweetie. So frankincense bath. Yes, I got your text message, Samantha. I obviously couldn't respond because I'm on here. So we're having to clear out our home more as we are going through these energetic structures and shifting out more and more. So you might be called to do this. If you find that you or the people you live with are going through a lot of emotional clearing, but you feel like that energy is still stuck there, I recommend stepping into sage, palo santo, frankincense, going through and cleansing your home. Also gridding your home, crystal gridding your home helps during these times. Another thing that will work is actually channeling crystalline energy through the walls and painting the walls of your apartment. And I'm probably going to do a video on this. Samantha's been wanting me to do a video on this for a while, is how to paint your apartment in energy. And this will also help with what I was talking about, the field. So I'll actually walk everyone through a little process if they want to. You can join in if you want to, or if not, but I'm going to teach you how to channel energy through your hands to cleanse your field and also to cleanse your home. So what I do is I connect to the highest point of the crystalline grid. So what I do is I invite the crystalline grid, the energies from the crystalline grid up into my feet and into my body. And I start to breathe in this energy. And then I say, I am channeling crystalline energy through my hands. And so I'm going through, and we're just going to go ahead and activate your palm chakras right now. So if you want to join in this, you can. You can say no and still stay on the live stream. You're not going to receive it. Free will is everything to me, and if you decree and declare you don't want to be a part of this, you won't be. So we're going to open up your palm chakras right now. So feel your palms start to expand and vibrate. You might feel some pressure, some heat building up. So what you're going to do is call forth this crystalline energy, connecting yourself to the crystalline core of Gaia, and say, I am channeling crystalline energy through my hands. And you're going to feel the energy move up through your shoulders and into your palms, and you're going to start to feel it going out your palms. You can actually take this energy now, and you can start to run it through your field. So I just kind of take this, and I say, I'm clearing, cleansing, aligning, and balancing my field. And I start to run my hands like an egg around me in the shape of an egg that is painting my field. This is going to help in smoothing out any of this static energy or any of this buildup that will happen. And then 2 is now you could do whatever you want with this crystalline energy. So you can go and start to paint the walls of your apartment. So the best thing to do is actually go through and actually rebuild your entire structure energetically, or home, wherever you live, tent, however it works for you, is being able to take this energy, channel the crystalline energy, and just pretend like you are painting your entire home in energy, and it's gonna help to lift up the vibration. This will also help too if you process your energy in certain points of the home. So for us, like I have a regular chair that I go to that I will do my release in, also in bed. So I want to make sure after I release in a chair or in a bed that I'm clearing the energy off of that, because I found that that will leave a heavy energetic imprint there, and I will go away and actually come back a few hours later or the next day and sit in that chair, and I'll start to hear those thoughts again and start to relive that experience. Well, it's because there's an energetic imprint that's held there. So through these times of transition and clearing and purification, like these big ones we've been going through every one of the gateways, it's important to open up the home at some point in time and air out everything. Saging helps, Palo Santo helps. For me, when I'm going through the heavy clearing, I start to go straight into frankincense. I prefer the smell of frankincense over sage. You can use myrrh too. Myrrh smells like dirty feet to me, so I don't use myrrh as much, but I'll drop some myrrh in there. I love Palo Santo. Palo Santo really helps to smooth out the energy. I find it more of an invitation of good energy. So sage and frankincense really helps to kind of dispel any of that negative energy. And I find that Palo Santo helps to kind of smooth out and invite in more good energy. So that's kind of what's going on with this gateway. I want to remind everyone that I put up a quantum light activation yesterday. That is up, that is going to really help during this transition time, especially with the community and unification piece that's really occurring through this. So with community and unification, what does that mean? That if you are holding on to anything right now that is blocking you from unification, so any social traumas, any belief systems that are out of date with your new frequency, any friendship wounds, you're going to be revisiting all of those wounds in the unification process, because once again, whatever is blocking you, separating you from unification needs to go. So whatever chunk you need to work through right now that you are signed up to start to work through for yourself, imprint-wise, you're going to have to go through. And it's an important part of the release process, because you're not only clearing for yourself, you're clearing for your bloodline, you're clearing for your family, and you're clearing for others as well. So this is a very special time to be alive. And I want to remind people of that right now, no matter what you're going through. So the video is the quantum light activation that I posted yesterday. So it's called quantum light activation. It's not light language. It's actually an encoded message that I channeled from my higher aspects that is encoded with special frequencies. And so when I start to speak, you can feel energy coming over you. I'm not using my hands for that. That's actually, the words itself are holding such a vibration to attract this unification in you. Pure rose incense, oh my gosh, that's actually what I just had going. I do pure rose incense as well. And rose baths, rose petal baths really help. Another thing that'll help during this time, thank you for bringing that up, is salt water cups. So I like to set up, I haven't done this in a while, but setting up transmutation cups around the home. So setting up Himalayan sea salt in a cup with some purified water, or distilled water really works. Setting them up around your home as kind of traps for negative energy to kind of transmute everything. Also setting up lemons. So if you can cut up a lemon into 4 parts and then sprinkle salt on the inside of the lemon, this is an old witchcraft trick to clear out negative energy. Put one right next to your door, in your front door, so if anyone walks in, it's gonna suck in all that negative energy. Keep that cut up lemon with salt for a few days until it's done, and then you can actually replace it. Also, cleansing your house with just pure lemon juice will help. So water and just taking a lemon and squeezing it out, and then even mopping your floors will really help in that process. What was I going into? I lost my train of thought because I went a little sidetracked there. Oh, but so the unification piece. We're gonna have to start to release more levels of this separation that's occurring. And so you might encounter, as this distortion is leaving your field, you might start to encounter things in your day-to-day that is gonna help to trigger more of that release. And just allow it to happen. The biggest thing right now, especially through the body changes and the physical changes, is we've learned to really reframe how we are running the narrative associated with what's going on with us. So now when so the other day, Samantha and I are having really, a lot of kidney pain. Instead of going, why is this happening? And what, oh my gosh, and starting to live in that fear and that worry, it's an upgrade. Okay, so we say, what are you going through? Instead of attaching to the old, dis-ease, okay, or even flu, what is it, frequency light upgrade. The flu is frequency light upgrade. As soon as we start to change the vibration and the form of what's going on with us energetically, we actually move through these transitions quicker, but we are also allowing the upgrade to occur. So when my body's going through something or my energy's going through something, it's an upgrade. I'm in the process of receiving everything I desire. I'm stepping into my dream world. New Earth is here. What I'm doing is I'm now taking this what used to be a lower frequency, denser idea, and I'm now shifting the thought to the highest form, and I'm now producing a better outcome. And the way that this was shown to me was basically, so let's, to put this in an analogy or some sort of symbology, as what was shown to me by my guides, is like, imagine waking up and going outside and seeing that your car is missing. Well, there's so many narratives that we can run because we're stepping into the unknown. What happened to my car? My car was stolen. I walked through a portal last night and woke up in a realm where I don't have a car. Whatever, and I'm being silly. But basically, there are so many different narratives we can run that can actually affect the outcome of what is occurring. So if you walk up, if you are, metaphorically waking up, and you see that your car's gone, what do you say? My car's going in for upgrades, and it's gonna return safe and sound and better than before. We're now raising the frequency of the entire experience, and we're inviting in the highest trajectory and the highest truth available for that. So if you're going through anything energetically or physically right now, think of it as an upgrade. Right now, everything, so we gotta feel to heal, but we need to feel it to let it go. So everything coming to the surface right now is gonna manifest in one way, shape, or form. And as it's going, just remember, it's not coming back. It's being stripped out of our field, and it's not coming to the surface so we keep replaying that pattern. It's coming up because it's going. And so we need to keep our sight and our intentions on recognizing that all this stuff is leaving right now. And that's what this purification process entails. If you think of, and I've brought up this analogy so many times before and other people have, is if we look at your cup and it's got mud on the bottom of the cup, we're gonna fill up the cup with as much water and streams of water until all that mud comes up and overflows out the top of the cup. That's what this purification energy is. That's what this Lemurian energy is. That's what these portals and gateways are providing us. A heavy light stream to come in to clear up more mud until it's all gone. So we all walk in, step into New Earth with clean shoes. That's why. We want no mud. We don't want to track in anything into our New Earth homes and our New Earth territories. And yes, these frequencies are here and New Earth is here right now. We are living in it right now. But there's also levels and layers that will happen where we can kind of bounce on the rainbow bridge as we are clearing off more and more and more. So we make sure we don't have mud on our shoes when we come in. So I think that's all I've got. I think I went long enough, about 32 minutes. So once again, much love and respect to everyone out there. Thank you so much for your continued support. If you're being called to just be right now, then just be. Don't try to actively work through a gateway like this unless you can. If you're met with resistance, let's look at that resistance and why it's occurring and what it's telling you. If you're waking up and you got stuff to get done, but your body's saying, no, I need to stay in bed, you might have to listen to your body, which means you have to cancel plans. This is happening for a lot of people right now, and it can start to lead to a level of frustration within because you kind of set up an expectation of how your day is supposed to go. Well, this is the thing, is that there's a lot of change that's occurring. We're learning to not go with, what's occurring to, we're not supposed to go with the expectation. We're supposed to now learn how to live with the energetic structures that are currently occurring. Yeah, there's a lot of rainbow energy coming through right now. So thank you for bringing that up, Priscilla. I hope you're doing well. That's another thing that is provided through these gateways, and I didn't mention, and then I will close this out, is these portals are providing more diamond codes, more diamond light frequencies, more of the golden ray, so we're going to see more Christ consciousness codes, but we're going to see a lot more rainbows through this time. Rainbows are also always indicative to me of integration and recognizing that all frequencies and all aspects coexist under one in the law of one. So you might be seeing a lot of rainbows right now. Rainbows are, this is kind of the time we're living in, but this portal and this gateway through the 222 gateway, as we feel it open up right now, is a lot like what we experienced with 1111, with 1212 and 1221, basically through December. So hold tight, enjoy the frequencies as they're coming. Remember that if you start to go into a higher dimensional plane of existence, remember that there is a time where you might have to come back down to Earth. This is something I'm going to talk a lot about more, especially if you're working with higher dimensional beings or you're getting visitations by different galactic groups. what to do during that time. I've crashed quite a few times. And right now it's really kind of teaching me to like enjoy the higher realms, but recognize there's a human aspect too. And sometimes these passageways and these corridors that we step through, as they're recurring more and more and more, we're going to start to eventually get to that point where we're living in that frequency full time. But in the meantime, we might bounce a little bit. And so if you're like very, very high up, but then all of a sudden you feel, you know, crashed and lethargic and like you're coming down off drugs, well, it's because you experienced all these extremely high frequencies and now you're a human again. And we learn that we can actually keep our vibration up by operating in that realm, by kind of sticking with joy, with creative experiences, trying to laugh and play and draw more, really letting your inner child come out unconditionally through play in whatever way, shape, or form that looks for you. And in healthy doses, you know, make sure that it's a what I would call the responsible inner child, and the crash is extremely real. It happens, but engaging with like nature, engaging with animals, engaging with children, engaging with your inner child really will help in keeping your frequency up. So if you end up going through one of these passageways or these corridors and you're like super high flying, and then all of a sudden 3 days after the gateway, you feel this crash, well, it's like you're welcome back to reality. And you can actually, so even listening to my quantum light activation will help to pop your vibration up. So if at any point in time you feel really deep and lethargic and you need to pop up, that's why I put out this content, is because sometimes I've spent a lot of money on different activations and things like that to hold on to. I want to be able to provide free content for you guys. As much as I would like to be able to, let's just put it this way, I need to make money still. This is now a full-time job and I do a lot of my stuff for free. So this is available for anyone out there that if you're feeling low vibe, low frequency, listen to that and it'll really help to bring your vibration back up. Or find other people's activations. I'm not the only one out there that does activations. But try to really do what you can towards bringing your mood and your energy back up if you are landing at that kind of low point after a very big high frequency shift. So thank you guys so much for coming out. Much love and respect to all of you out there. If you haven't, please click the button to get notified of all my upcoming videos. Also, donations are greatly appreciated. Like a lot of us now, we're trying to put out a lot of free information more than anything, and donations are always appreciated. So if you resonate with my content, okay, and it's something that you are supportive of, I would heavily appreciate it. Even if you want to come out to one of my activations, like this Sunday, we're having the 2-2 activation, where I'm actually channeling a special activation for people. You know, donate there. There's always anything you give, there's always a reception. Okay, so this isn't like, you know, it's the way New Earth works, okay? We're living in this flow of even reciprocity. But I really do appreciate it. It's something that really does help support me and to continue this content going and to support the business and to keep my channels up. You know, it goes into many more ways, and also it goes to food in my belly, which I love food, and I would really appreciate it because I like to eat. I like to eat healthily now. So anyways, much love and respect to everyone out there. I thank you all unconditionally. And with that, I will see you all on the other side. Namaste.